What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Boot Breakdown. JB, the sports guy. And now I pass it to the one and only Jordan Taylor. Oh, no.
Make sure y'all can hear me on y'all
Yeah,
end.
yeah, there we go. There we go. I hear you now, brother.
Apologies. How about now?
Yeah, perfect.
Restart.
All right, we're going to restart, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, I am JB, the sports guy. Welcome to the Boot Breakdown. And now I pass it to the one and only Jordan Taylor.
Yes, sir. Welcome to the Boot Breakdown Week 8 edition. Jordan Taylor, JB the Sports Guy, Nick Campbell, ready to take you through all things Week 8. Fellas, I got a jam-packed show tonight. I hope y'all ready to tackle some of these games because we have a lot to talk about throughout the entire state of Louisiana. It's not just here locally in all three of our cities. There's a lot that happened throughout the state of Louisiana. Just when you think you know something about a team, someone goes and loses, someone goes and gets upset, and someone unexpectedly wins. That's how crazy this final 3 weeks is fixing to be. Week 8, one for the books. What's going on, my guys? JB the Sports Guy, Nick Campbell. Here we are on another Sunday. Thanks for moving the time back a little bit. It is trick-or-treat season, so I went to do my father and children duties right there. Did some trick-or-treating because I know I'm going to be covering a game on Thursday and Friday, so I wanted to make sure I got the trick-or-treating done today. What's going on, my guys?
Now we can't hear Nick. Are you muted, Nick? What is going on?
JB, you go.
I'm gonna go, man. Oh man. Tell
It's
you
Halloween
what, man.
season, man. It's spooky season.
Yeah, we got some ghosts and some demons messing up with the stuff. I don't know what's going on, but man, good to be here tonight, man. Definitely, man. I understand going trick or treating with your child. I totally get it. So I didn't have a problem moving it back. I get it, my man. You're a parent, Nick a parent. I'm not a parent, but I do have about a lot of karate kids. I'll call my kids, so I kind of understand it. But man, it feels good to be here. Week 8 was wild.
Did you get a chance to see what Esmond dressed up as today?
I sure did. I saw it. So, so it's truly understandable. But week 8 was wild. I can't wait to get into that. But Nick, are you there?
This is for Austin.
I think I'm here this time, brothers.
There we go.
Austin Tyler, this one's
Austin
for
Tyler,
you.
Dr. Pepper.
Go ahead, Nick. What's going on, my man?
Oh man, no trick or treaters for me. My kids are grown, but it's good to be back in the saddle. They had a big week 8. I don't know about you guys, but our guys, it was something special this way.
Hey, I got some breaking news right quick, and they pretty much saying this is true, that Brian Kelly is out as the head coach at LSU, and that Frank Wilson will be the new interim coach.
I'm glad they gave it to Wilson, but there goes a lot of recruits.
Possible. Well, let's see what happens from here on out. But that's
you talk about someone that can save the locker room is Frank Wilson.
Yeah, probably so. And then I also think with Cortez Hankton and even Corey Raymond, he got some help to help save that locker room.
Absolutely.
They got that look on his face like, I don't know.
We got quite a few teams that we're going to talk about tonight that might end up on LSU's sideline next year if they can save some of these recruits in the next coming months.
Let's get into it.
Nick, you ready down there at the bottom?
Oh yes, sir.
This might be one of the more jam-packed shows I've put together.
Okay.
You ready for this? You got your listening ears on?
Oh, big time.
All right, we're going to start with something easy. We're going to work our way through this one right here.
Okay.
First thing is just break down the games that you saw in person or covered this week. That's the easy one, and then we're going to dive into some blockbusters. JB,
go ahead, Nick.
JB or Nick, y'all can take the floor.
Well, I did a double dip, tried to do a triple dip, but it didn't make it that way. I started off in St. James, was a very, very, man, I tell you, besides the homecoming and everything that was going on, Donaldsonville, they traveled really well. In St. James, they had the stadium full, standing room only, in order to start to carry their momentum for the playoffs. And Donaldsonville laid an egg, classic egg. It was like 29-0 at the end of the second quarter. So I went down the road and I caught West St. John versus St. Martin. And when I got to that game, it was at halftime. West St. John was up 14-7 and lost to St. Martin.
Man, I heard about the West St. John game, man. I was kind of shocked that St. Martin's came back and won that game. But good running back in Kane Otto and Donnie Lawrence, the quarterback for St. Martin's. But for me, Thursday, I had broadcasted East Jefferson versus John Ehret, and John Ehret got off to a 21-0 start on East Jeff, but East Jeff slowly came back and took the lead 30-28. But after that, John Ehret goes on a 13-0 run to close the game out and get the win. Friday night, we broadcast McDonald 35 versus George Washington Carver, and Carver goes out and starts off fast, gets the lead to 15-0. And then here comes McDonald 35 with a comeback, kind of like John Ehret. Carver went into halftime with the lead 26-18, and that was all she wrote for Carver. Carver did not score another point. McDonald 35 made a bunch of adjustments defensively to shut them out in the second half, and Carver could not stop the running game of McDonald 35 the entire game. And McDonald 35 went on to win 42-26.
All right. Thursday night football, I had ERAF St. Martinville. It was the beginning of district play, and it was going to be a trend of two things that I would see this week. I would see two undefeateds, and would both of them walk out on Thursday and Friday? Well, on Thursday night, ERAF Bobcats did walk away to an 8-0 record after a dominating win at home. It was senior night. A special senior class was announced, and I know they say it's senior night, but they got a lot more football left to be played at that field moving forward. That team right there is one of those that the chips are in the middle of the table. They're all in. This is the year. If ERAF's ever going to do something, it's going to be this one, because it's well coached, it's well led, it's a well-fueled machine over there with the Bobcats, and very impressed. I've seen them twice this year, and they're going to give some teams some troubles in the playoffs. Really good defense and really physical group of Bobcats they have over there. And on Friday, would the second team stay undefeated? It was Bunky and Gina. And, well, if Troy and a couple others are listening right now, you might want to close your ears, because that one right there, the Gina Giants, is a team that deserves the number one ranking in the state of Louisiana. That 1-2 punch in the backfield, Wilson and Hatcher, my goodness. The dynamic duo they have right there. And the offensive line, we gave player of the game honors to. They're averaging 56 points per game, and they went 400 yards rushing, 600 yards total offense, 68-45 final score. Gina Giants, yep, they're the number one team in the state of Louisiana, my opinion. But I know there's other opinions around there. I got to see them up close and personal. I wanted to make sure I seen them first before I moved forward. And Gina Giants, you know how they say it's Halloween right around the corner, where it's scary hours for the Gina Giants right now.
Yeah, I agree, man.
And a bunch of guys on St. James sideline was really asking, is Gina Giants for real? That was the question they asked me. And I said, I'm going to ask you. And I want to make sure, because you covered them, Jordan, pretty much, you saw them a lot. So enough to say that they are that good of a football team. So that's the question that the St. James Wildcat fans want to know.
I think Gina Giants could go kick down the door of New Orleans this year if they get postseason all the way through. That means
Yeah.
that St. James and Sterlington would wind up on the same side.
Yeah.
So if they avoid those two, I think they're going to be dancing in New Orleans.
There you go.
But crazier things are happening.
Yes, sir.
But that's why we do breaking down the boot.
That's why we do it. Right?
That's right.
That's why we play the game. All right. Your thoughts on the number 1 ranked teams going into week number 9. We start with the select side of the bracket.
Okay.
Division 1, it's Carr. Division 2, St. Charles. Division 3, LCA. Division 4, it's Riverside. Your thoughts of those 4 as we enter week 9, ranked number 1 in the state.
All right. Edna Carr is truly legit. That's the best team in the state. Let's just keep it at that right there. They're gonna hold that number 1 spot. But they got a tight, tough ball game this Friday night against John Curtis. Even if Edna Carr loses, I think Edna Carr still would be number 1. But we'll see what happens with this game with John Curtis. That's gonna be a tough ball game. Coach JT gonna have his team ready. Number 2, St. Charles Catholic in Division 2 Select. They're legit. They are legit, and they may hold the number 1 spot once the playoffs start. But we'll see come week 10 when they got to go to Archbishop Shaw. Could that be for the number 1 spot? Maybe. I don't know. They got a whole point over Shaw. We'll see what happens. But Shaw and St. Charles could be fighting for number 1 spot. And Shaw got a good chance if they beat Bell Chase this Thursday night. Good chance to move to number 2 with Loyola Prep playing North DeSoto. Number 3, in Division 3 Select is Lafayette Christian. They're the real deal. I think right now that's a team to beat in that division. And Division 4 Select, Riverside holding it down right now. But look out for Westminster Christian Academy. Maybe they got a shot to take over that number 1 spot. We'll see. But Riverside has been everything as advertised this year, and they're looking to make a strong push to get back to that Superdome.
Yeah, looking at both games that was being played, they have Riverside Rebels. They lost to Terrebonne. Was a tough out. Week 1 at home. I think they're legitimate. They're legitimate number 1. Flipping with Westminster.
Back, huh?
Excuse me?
Before the emergence of this running back from Riverside, huh?
Yeah, I think he was there all along. And I think it was the time that they was going to reveal him, especially playing Terrebonne week 1. You got to go with the people you know, and the kid came in, and in the last 3 weeks he had over 700 yards rushing. I get the stats every Monday, and he had 258 in week 3, 259 in week 4, and he had he doubled up again. He doubled up again. So they running the ball real consistent. And they keeping it at bay, but beating Vermilion Catholic, that was the tougher road game of the year opponent. But we're going to see how it's going to end in these last 2 weeks because St. Edmund playing Westminster, they're going to have a lot of things that can happen that could keep that seed to 1 and 2 in that division.
For the non-select side, Division 1, West Monroe. Division 2, North DeSoto. Division 3, Gina. Division 4, South Plaquemine.
All right. West Monroe right now, they're playing some of the best ball in the state of Louisiana, but I still believe that Division 1 non-select is kind of wide open this year. I don't think there's a team we could pinpoint and say this is a team that's going to run the table in Division 1 non-select. I think it's wide open. West Monroe got a tough ball game with Neville this week, and then they got Ruston. So anything can happen. West Monroe wins out, they'll probably hold that number 1 spot. If they lose one of those games, then we can have another shuffle within the rankings right there. But West Monroe playing some great ball right now. You got to credit Coach Dizer and his staff. Division 2 non-select. I don't see North DeSoto losing the number 1 spot unless they lose the next 2 games. I just don't see it. Strength factor is high, and Luke Delafield and his team, they're playing some great ball right now. So I think North DeSoto will hold on to that. Moving forward, Division 3 non-select. Gina and St. James, they're gonna battle for that number 1 spot right there.
It's
They're gonna
close
battle.
right now in the power rankings.
What'd you say?
It's close right now in the power rankings.
Yeah, we talk about
Points, like
0.03.
points.
Yeah, exactly. So they're gonna battle for number 1 spot. Gina with that big win over Bunky, that helps them out, but that's gonna come down to the last week to see which one of those two are gonna hold that number 1 spot because they are just so close right there. And then Division 4 non-select, South Plaquemines holding it down. Big win over Country Day. And they got Newman week 10. I think they have Cohen this week, but South Plaquemines right now, the defending state champs in Division 4 non-select, and they're number 1 right now. I kind of think they may be able to hold on to that spot throughout, even if they lose to Newman. North Iberville is down by pretty much 0.7. So South Plaquemines looking good to hold on to the number 1 spot.
Yeah, and it has been confirmed also. There's alerts everywhere.
Gotcha.
Yeah, with Kelly. Go ahead, my friend.
I think St. James is gonna make that move in the last 2 weeks of the season to capture the number 1 seed in that division. They lost some tough games this year. They lost to Shaw. Shaw is pretty up there. They lost to and I hear it every week, every Monday morning about how they still should be number 1, right? And they're battling some injuries that's going to really coast. I think they got a big game coming up this week against the Patterson and beating Patterson. I think Patterson has been playing pretty good football. Could probably give them that slight edge to do this. Well, they won this week. They won this week. So they continuously trying to put it together. So it's not like it's going to be a Donaldsonville deal. That rivalry has been real tough over the last couple of years, even though Patterson been at the end of it. But saying that to say that I think St. James climbed back to number 1 in that division. It would shock me if they didn't, even amongst the stuff that they went through. And when you're looking at South Plaque, man, South Plaque ready to play. They're ready to play. He's one of those teams that, they tough nail. They resemble their coach, and they're going to always play tough. They got championship aspiration. They got championship pedigree. You can't say enough about them. Now, West Monroe, I think we're looking at the Division 1 non-select, and JB said it himself. He think it's wide open. I think normally over the years that 4, 5, or 6 seed, they really sit pretty with where they're going to be, whether they get the number 1 seed or the number 2 seed on that opposite side, that they can really do some damage to. So kudos to West Monroe for sustaining that number 1 seed because they had a tough early pre-district schedule. So I'm looking forward to see how that shake down in the last couple of weeks because they got some games that are going to determine a lot of shifting in Division 1 coming up non-select.
Gina's remaining schedule: Caldwell Parish, Buckeye. And St. James's remaining schedule: Patterson, Berwick. All 4 of those teams losing records.
Bad records.
It's gonna be by the narrowest of points. It's gonna depend on who wins at their earlier schedules.
And also those teams that they played off also. Well, your earlier schedule.
Yeah, you might have something to do with it.
Depending on your schedule, so who's going to get that 1 seed because both of them will win out, and they're not going to get any help on the back stretch, but they will get help at the front stretch.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. I got a lot of games.
Come on with it.
We start in Lafayette.
Okay.
Homecoming for Coach. Not a homecoming here for Turlings. Turlings gets the win over East Ascension 64-29. You think the Rebels had it on their mind on Friday night? I tell you what, the quarterback, I don't want to say his name wrong, Munez, had a big night on the ground and through the air. This is one of those things where Turlings wanted to go make a statement, and statement did they make.
Oh, they made a statement. And I said it on the Hash It Out show. I said, those kids are going to be fired up to play against their former coach. Their former coach left them, and they want to show him why he shouldn't have left. And trust me, Trust me, I know the new head coach, and he's probably still good friends with Coach Aponche and everything because he was an assistant under him. But I promise you, he probably was telling his team that he's coming back.
Corville wasn't there last year.
He wasn't there. My fault. I
No.
thought he was. So I'm wrong. Okay, that new head coach was telling his team about the coach that left, and to motivate them to play hard. And that's what happened. They went out there and probably played their best football game this entire season against a good East Ascension team. And you talk about the quarterback, my God, what a game for him. What a game for him. And Turlin just proved to a lot of people who still doubt them as being a legitimate contender in Division I select. They just proved a lot of people wrong.
If they were in Division II select right now, they would be the favorite to win it all.
I would agree. I would agree.
Oh, yeah. They tough,
As a 4A
man.
program.
They tough. They're real tough, and they playing some good football. Not discrediting East Ascension. They came with it on their mind. East Ascension playing these emotional rivalry games, then turning around playing out of district. Man, they really got dealt with, and it was really Turlin putting the state on notice that we can play with anybody.
You got a big one this upcoming week, Turling St. Thomas More for the district title game. That Turling's in East Ascension coming out of halftime. The big interception really broke East Ascension's back, in my opinion. The interception, first play of the second half. So shout out Turling's Rebels, 8-0, first-year coach. He's an alum of the school, and he's doing a tremendous job in year one. So shout out to Coach Corville, that staff, and the Rebel Ball Club. 8-0, got a big one Friday night at home, though.
Oh, yeah, big time. They get to host them. So I know it's been quite a time, quite a while that they haven't beaten St. Thomas More. Maybe this may be the year.
This could be the year. It's definitely going to be a showdown in Lafayette Park.
The Platinum Helmet's coming out Friday night. Mark my word. The Platinum Helmet is coming out Friday night. Mark my word.
A team that needed a big win in the biggest ways on Friday night. It was the Neville Tigers, and it did not come easy. But when you find a way to win, you find a way to win. You got to feeling that this one feels good after the way things went a week ago. Neville goes on the road, knocks off Ouachita Parish 38-37. This one had fireworks to start it. I mean, Neville with an opening kickoff to start that football game, and then Ouachita Parish comes back 2 plays later and scores theirself. They said the difference in this one was Neville's 17 points on special teams to go on the road and get this victory. Your thoughts on the matchup? Neville fighting every week for wins, staying in games. It has not been easy, but this one has to feel good for the Tigers.
It feels real good for the Tigers, and it doesn't feel good for Ouachita. And I'm going to explain why it doesn't feel good for Ouachita. Because Neville has been trying to win these games. Think about it. St. Thomas More, they were up, 16-0 at half, and they lost that. They were up on Ruston by 17 with less than 9 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and they lost that game. So Neville has had trouble finishing games, and finally they get a victory by finishing a game. Ouachita now against West Monroe, against trying to think who else they played, Alexandria and Neville. I think those three. They've been in the game, but they couldn't finish. So they had a similar issue that Neville had, not knowing how to finish games. When Ouachita learns how to finish a game and win it, they may be the most dangerous team to face in the playoffs. They got to get over that hump. How can we finish games with a win? Neville finally figured out how to do it this game against Ouachita.
Yeah, it's a brutal stretch they had to go through, and it started off with a really good Franklin Parish team that they got the win of. And then here's the 4 big ones: Ruston, West Monroe, Neville, Alexandria. Here's your 4 in a row for you. Why don't you? And a 7-point loss to Ruston. What was it? A 13-point or 14-point loss to West Monroe, and A 1-point loss to Neville. I mean, they're in those ball games. Like you said, they got to find ways to win. But, oof, what a grueling 5-game stretch they just went through. It doesn't get easier. They got Alexandria next week.
It's rough.
Coach Franz and I, we talked about this just Thursday morning. Every game from now on is a playoff game.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be battle tested, man. And Neville Tigers, when you look at it, they're going to be battle tested. They're going to be a tough out for somebody. They can go on the road and really pull out one of those games that we really think that they couldn't get, i.e. last year of Central Baton Rouge. You know, it was battle tested, and they got to this game where they had to play the Neville Tigers, number 1 seed, and punched them out. So sometimes it looks really grueling in the middle, but I think they're going to be battle tested at the end to really make some noise in that division.
They said Ouachita Parish might be the best 5-3 team in the state.
Yeah. Well, Neville's 5-3 too. There you go, both of them.
Neville might be like they might share it, huh?
Yeah. But remember, guys, we talked about this week 1. We say a 5-5 team gonna be a dangerous out. Remember, we talked about that.
Yeah.
When some of those teams was really having some week 1, week 2, week 3 wasn't getting some wins. So it's gonna be some tough out for some of those guys up there.
Time to start talking about some undefeateds. Did they survive week number 8? This time, and we're going to start with undefeated number 1. We go to Parkway. Dirty Red had to go survive Captain Shreve on Friday night, but shout out to the now 8-0 Parkway 45-42. Wasn't easy, but at this point of the season, just win, baby.
I mean, just win is right. Look, they were up by 15 points in the second half, and that went away. It went away when Captain Shreve scored the game. They tied the game with 4 minutes and 12 seconds left. So credit Parkway for continuing to fight and finding a way to win. And that was when AJ Johnson got a 40-yard kickoff return, and then Parkway 10 plays later, after 10 plays down the field, kicks the game-winning field goal. Game-winning field goal. So Parkway, good kickoff return, 10 plays, wasted that clock. Causing Captain Street to use some of their timeouts, but Parkway getting first downs on that 10-play drive and then getting that game-winning field goal. So credit Coach Corey Brotherton and his staff. Credit that team for not giving up after having a 15-point lead. Parkway finding a way. It's about finding ways to win. There it is, Parkway finding a way to win to stay undefeated.
Yeah, quietly, Parkway been coming and sliding down and look like they didn't capture the number 2 seed. Is it a hard seed or is it a soft seed? It's yet to be determined because that, just like I said earlier, man, that is a tough division to really look at with some naked eyes and say who's going to be there at the end. Like I know, like you guys both look at the Final Four when you look at that bracket and say this team, this team, this team. But Parkway just quietly snuck up in there, and it's shocking a lot of people.
Yeah, that bracket right there. You know how often you say, okay, we can start seeing some great battles come quarterfinal, semifinal time. Well, it starts in round 1 in Division 1 non-select.
I agree.
That whole bracket in round 1 is going to be nuts. You're going to see upsets, and you're going to see nail biters in Division 1 non-select. But looks like Parkway is going to have the week off.
Yeah, and then week 10 against Evangel for the district championship.
Mm-hmm. Hello, points.
Yep.
All right, your next one right here. Let's go find us another undefeated. This time we go to Jeanerette. Jeanerette welcome in Covington Christian. This is probably the district title game. I know they got some weeks to play here in the next coming weeks, but shout out 8th grade kicker. Foot meets ball. Walk them off, undefeated no more. Down goes Jeanerette, and Covington Christian storms the field. Final score, 21-18 on the road. Oh, what a game.
What a game is right. When I picked Covington Christian to be like in my Final Four for Division 4 select, people are like, "Are you crazy?" I'm like, "No, that's gonna be a
I
good
thought you
team this
were.
year." I know. That's gonna be a good team, and Generet's a great team, and that came down to the wire, like you said, Jordan Taylor. Generet had the lead early. Covenant Christian came back and game-winning boot to get the win. I talked to somebody last Sunday who plays for Covenant Christian, and I asked him. I
I
said,
remember I remember what you said.
yeah.
I'll drink to that.
And I asked him, I gonna say everything he said, but I asked him about the game, and he said, We're gonna win. We're gonna win this game. We feel that we've played tougher competition that has gotten us ready for this game." And I was like, okay, well, maybe he had a point. Playing tougher competition, they got the win. Generat's a good team, and they can go a long way. Just that Covenant Christian was able to use some of their weapons that they have, wide receiver wise, finding them down the field in that second half, especially, and then game winning field goals. So credit both teams for a great game, but Covenant Christian coming up with the win.
You love great storylines whenever you find out
Oh,
it's an
yeah.
8th grader that did.
Yeah, get bingo. Big shout out to a kicker. Man, special teams play probably 30 minutes apart and everybody practice, and some teams take it seriously, some teams don't take it seriously. But kudos to the coaches that put and had faith in the 8th grader to get up there and knock in a game winner during the baseball season, the World Series. Man, who would ever thunk it, man? An 8th grader coming in and walk off, kick a field goal to win the game when he just not even a freshman yet.
Absolutely. So big win for Covenant Christian. The trend tonight was going to be, did the undefeated survive? We go into our next undefeated matchup, this next one. Ladies and gentlemen, it was St. Charles and it was Belle Chase. St. Charles and that suffocating defense knocks off Belle Chase 19-7. Your thoughts on the matchup, your thoughts on the ball game. This one closer than I thought it was going to be, but could you tell me your thoughts on this matchup?
I had thought St. Charles would win this game by 17. I was 5 points away. They won by 12. Somebody asked me, why is St. Charles so good? It's not like they have a lot of talent. No, they're not the most talented team, but they're disciplined and they're very sound. They play their assignments well, and that's what makes St. Charles Catholic one of the best teams in the state year in and year out. Defensively, they have always been good, and this defensive side of the ball this year for them look like it may be one of the best defensive squads they've had in a very, very long time. These guys playing lights out ball. The offense is so far much better than it was last year. Coach Wayne Stein is actually calling the offensive plays this year. And he's got a good running back. I think his name, correct me if I'm wrong, Nick. Sidney Edwards is his name. I believe his name, the running back.
No, it's Skylar Edwards.
Skylar Edwards.
Yeah, it's Skylar Edwards. Look, I'm from that cell. Both of my kids went to that school. And when most kids are sleeping, those kids are working. They're preparing to go to school. And you don't have much but each other when you go to a school like St. Charles Catholic. And week 2, I told you, JB, I said, do not sleep on the Comets. They was injured throughout the whole season last year. This year, they're pretty healthy. And all of those kids that got reps last year, they're 100% healthy. And then when you look at the makeup of the football team, Belle Chase have a really pretty good running game, really solid quarterback. They jump out on Belle Chase real early, so that took away their running game. So Belle Chase got some steam. They started moving until St. Charles were able to continue to move the chains and punch in another touchdown. If that game would have been in Belle Chase, it probably could have went either way. But kudos to the Cali Comets. They're going to need that number 1 seed. It can help them health-wise. They got a couple kids banged up, and they got a lot to offer moving forward.
Good, JB?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Let's keep the trend going. Another undefeated. Would they survive week number 8? Well, they said this was their first real test of the season, And I tell you what, if I was a school teacher, they passed it with flying colors. Well, Ouachita Christian takes down Mangum on the road, 35-14. Ouachita Christian makes it 5 straight wins over the Dragons. Tell you what, Luke Vidrine at the quarterback's position is the real deal.
Yeah, Luke Vidrine is something special. He is something special. I had picked Mangum to win, but that was not picking with my head. It's picking with my heart. Because I ain't gonna lie, it's hard to pick against Ouachita Christian. It is hard, man. When you know about the tradition and the history and the championships they won. It's hard, man. But I felt like Mangum might get them in my heart, not my head, but I threw it with my head. But look, Ouachita Christian, and also Nick, people were saying, you know, they hadn't played nobody. Look at their strength factor in the power rankings. They ain't played nobody. People were saying that. We're talking about a team that was what, Jordan, a 12 or 13 seed last year that got to the Dome with a bunch of with a bunch of new players. They were very young, and now these boys are more experienced. And look, they're gonna be dangerous. They're gonna be dangerous. They just defeated a great Mangum team. This is a Mangum team that has a great shot to get to the Dome in Division 4 non-select. And Ouachita Christian just beat them 35-14. That says a lot about them in general, not even the coaching staff. Because we know the coaching staff is great, but the players themselves and what they have done so far this year, that they're gonna be dangerous in Division 4 select.
Here comes Ouachita Christian. They were above the 10 mark going into the rankings in week 8. Now they sit at 7. So they are climbing slowly but surely. Here comes the state runner-ups.
Oh yeah, and they have a lot of people in Division 4 concerned. Even at those that's holding that 1 and 2 seed, they're watching Ouachita Christian real carefully and how they've been playing the game. Because you got to ask yourself who's going to be the formidable foe. Not at Vermilion Cali, like kind of then took some punches to the chin. You know, so I think Ouachita Christian going to play some real good ball down the stretch, and they're going to put number 1 and number 2 seed on notice wherever they fall when all the ashes are settled.
They still got an opportunity to go climb in that top 4 if you keep having some teams lose up in front of them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Moving along, fellas. I don't know if I have any more. I don't know if I have any more in the fetus I'm about to read off, but I'll jump into some other matchups if that's cool.
That's cool, man.
Let's go to Alexandria and Ruston. Let's talk about this matchup. Ruston, a little taste of their own medicine from last week. They came back down. They came back down from a big lead at Neville the previous week. And here comes Alexandria down 21-3 to have an incredible rest of the game. I mean, you had a big interception right there before halftime that got them points. Second straight year, Ash beats Ruston. This time they did it in Ruston. The final score in that one was 45-28.
Yeah. You mentioned it. They were down 21-3, and then Alexandria scores 31 unanswered points from the second quarter to the third quarter. Unanswered. I mean, when I was calling the Carver McDonald 35 game, I saw the score 21-3, and I said, "Ooh, yeah, Ruston got that one." And then we get in the car, we driving home, and we got on the radio, and Lamar Gafford, our good friend, Lamar comes on, and he's talking about, yeah, man, just all of a sudden Alexandria just took off and won this game 45-28, scored 31 unanswered points. I was like, what? I didn't see it happening, man. But we got to remember, this is a team that's faced adversity early this year with the loss to West Monroe. We got to remember this is a team that just played for a state championship. So this is a team that knows how to fight and knows how to deal with adversity, knows how to deal with things when it gets tough. They dealt with it with West Monroe, came up on the short side, but here they are, 21-3, and they telling themselves, hey, guys, we're not out of this game. Let's keep playing. We'll be all right. and look what happens. This is a dangerous team. We know about their defense. As you can tell, yeah, they gave up 21 points, and then after that, just gave up 7 while they came back. It's a great team. Go ahead, JT.
And it's not like this Ruston team went and got bullied over there in West Monroe. They lost by 3 in a shootout on the road, to say that also. So their one loss is a 3-point loss in a hostile environment at West Monroe. What was it, 34-31? So it's not a bad loss right now if you look at where Alexandria is. A 3-point loss at West Monroe. Now what they did at Ruston, well, that team is complete from top to bottom.
Yeah, I agree.
You can't say nothing bad about Ash, especially they're gonna compete. I'm thinking that quarterback week 8. Yeah, I think he got everything under his belt. He's getting primed up for playoff. It's gonna be a tough out again for anybody in that division, man. Ash can play with anybody. They're never out. It seems like they're never out of the game.
Let's go back to the Acadiana area.
Okay.
This one right here was Acadiana and Southside. It was Sharks, it was Wrecking Rams, and it was a big one here in week 8. Huge district implications on the line. Who would go challenge Carencro for that district title this year? Well, my friends, you had some late game drama. Acadiana goes on the road, knocks off the Sharks 17-14. What a win for the Wrecking Rams. And you can make that, 5 wins in a row now for Acadiana.
What's the late game drama? What's the late game drama, JT?
I think correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe they slid in bounds when they could. I slid in bounds and the time expired on them.
Well, I'm going to say this because VK Jones sent me something. He said, watch the last 2 minutes of this game. He said, it's some chaos. I didn't get a chance to see it. That's why I was asking you.
Yeah, I believe he slid in bounds with like he had a shot to get out of bounds, slid in bounds, and the clock ran out. I think it was something in that situation. So someone in the chat can correct us there.
Yes, please. So all I can say about it is Acadiana is proving people wrong that had them out of even being competitive for the district and towards the state championship. Looks like Acadiana is finally getting themselves together and starting to find a rhythm and have some chemistry with the new head coach and his system. I picked Southside. I picked Southside to win the district, and now they gotta beat Carencro and hope Carencro can help them out to at least get a share. But I'm gonna credit Acadiana. Once again, we should never count them out. I got to give them all the credit in the world. Acadiana. Tough win, but they got it done.
Speak for yourself, JB, man. We talked about this in week 3 when it was 0-3. We said, don't count out, at least I told you, don't count out the Rams. They're going to have to get better with their coaching. Man, I tell you, they got their player back that was ineligible. That made it better. Yes. And I tell you, they're really playing Wrecking Ram football right now. So we thought, when I say we, a couple of friends and I, we thought they'd probably be 5-5. We know they'll win some games down the stretch, man, but they're steamrolling right now.
Yeah, you go back to new coaching staff, new head coach. You go back to a lot of seniors exited the door a year ago. And then here's Ruston, Zachary, STM out the gate for you before you can even gel with the new system, new quarterback, new head coach, new quarterback, new everything. So they needed those games to get rolling. And right now, 5 in a row, they set up a major showdown in week 10 against their I say they're good friends over there at Carencro. I'm gonna call them friends for now.
Week 10, they won't be friends anymore.
Carencro, Acadiana.
I would love to see that game.
Right now, Carencro, Acadiana is shifting towards the district title game, but both teams still have to go win in week 9.
Yeah.
Acadiana has Sam Houston. Carencro has Southside.
Yeah.
So that district's still undecided, but we're thinking it's Acadiana, Carencro Week 10 district title game, which sign me up. I want to see that one also.
There you go.
Moving along here with the show. I got one that y'all probably didn't think was going to make it to the docket tonight.
Okay.
All right. We go to Eunice, Louisiana.
Eunice. I've been there.
Okay. Well, it ain't the Bobcats we're going to talk about.
Oh, okay.
It's the Blue Jays, Nick. Here this one. Final score, 52-50 overtime, walk-off. I believe it was a walk-off two-point conversion. St. Ed's knocks off Catholic Appointed in overtime, 52-50. What a game.
Oh, man.
I think that shifted those PowerPoints a little. That's going to set up a big week 10 with Westminster and St. Ed's coming up because Catholic Point was playing some good football.
I wish that game was on a Friday because under the lights would have been all over it, but they play in that week 10 on a
Thursday night. Yep.
So many games on Thursday night the next 2 weeks. Jesus.
Y'all thoughts of Catholic Appointed at home winning in dramatic fashion in overtime?
It's two great teams right there. Two great teams that can make some good runs. We're talking about St. Edwards, who was a quarterfinal team last year, correct? Or a semifinal team?
St. Ed's lost in the quarters to the eventual state champions.
All right. But they did St. Ed. Was it St. Ed's or St. Frederick's that beat St. Martin's last year?
It was St. Ed's.
St. Ed's, I thought so. Okay. So two good teams that went at it. Pretty much gave everyone a playoff type situation of football. You know, fighting towards the end, came down to a 2-point conversion. Catholic Point Coupee gets away with the win. So man, that was a great game between two good teams that both can make good deep runs into the playoffs. But credit Catholic Point Coupee of pulling out the victory.
Man, I can tell you, games like that can make a team go more north when you complete that conversion. And it can give you confidence that you never thought you would have. And you send a message to your football team and tell them how confident you are in them. And I think it was good that it was a game of that nature. And man, I tell you, I'd have loved to see it because we're talking about a classification of kids, some of them playing both ways. And it had to be a walk on defense. So you had to grind out that last drive to get that touchdown and that conversion.
Yeah, phenomenal ball game right there in Eunice country. More overtime football for you this week. It goes back to Lafayette. How about the turnaround the Como Spartans have had this year? What was it, 0-30 in the last 3 years to now their 5th win of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Como stuns Northside in overtime at home, 28-21. What a turnaround.
Yeah, big time turnaround. And Como was down 14-0 at the half. They were down 14-0. So, man, way to fight back and way to get the victory. Jaden Celestine scored the 4 touchdowns for Como in the second half. And I mean, what else can you say? Their first 5-win season since 2019, man. And Como looking to make the playoffs now, and that'll be great for them. You know, you got 5 wins already. Now, if you can just somehow get into the playoffs, they'll be more than a successful season for Como.
Yeah, well, Como got a lot of good coaching going on over there, man. To turn your program around, and to turn any program around, it's tough, man. Coach should get Coach of the Year coming out of that district. From looking at where they went, we talked about them in week 2 about trying to get their first W, and they did, man. And they're starting to put it together. They're working really hard as a team. Hopefully, they can get the 6 wins and get that number 16 seed, get a home game. You can never tell what could start brewing for a team like that.
Right now, with 2 weeks to go, Como sits at 23. So top 24 get into the dance. So not safe, but right now they have not been in this position in a long time. So there's a lot of energy right now in morale. The morale is real high right now over there at the campus.
Yeah, at the school my sister-in-law went to, Como.
Okay. Some more scores here for you. I forgot we got another undefeated team we didn't talk about yet.
Bring it on, bring it on.
Ascension Catholic goes into Bear Country, knocks off North Iberville 50-28, gives the Bears their first loss of the season. How good is Trevor Simo? What he has, 27 touchdowns on the season at the running back position?
Yeah, yes, yeah. I was told 26, but it could be 27. Pretty special, man, after taking over after Ascension Catholic legend Chad Elzy, right, Nick?
Mm-hmm.
No, 6.
No, Elzy
No, running back.
Yep.
Wait,
Elzy.
we had a breakdown. I missed it.
All right.
Yep.
So what I said was Trevor Simo doing a great job after taking over after legendary running back for Ascension Catholic, Chad Elzy.
Chad Elzy, yes.
Yeah.
Man, look,
Go ahead, Nick.
I watched Chad Elzy. I watched Chad Elzy operate that night, man, against a good Riverside Rubber defense. But yes, and look, let's give credit where credit's due. You know, Chad Jasmine was the running back coach over there last year. He didn't leave the cupboard empty. He just didn't work with one kid. So whatever he taught Elzy, he taught every other running back that came through that circle too, man. And you got to realize that little area over there in Ascension, they still get a lot of great kids over there, and they still gonna have something to say in that division. Trust me.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Ascension Catholic jumped out to a 14-0 lead and just kept North Iberville at arm's length pretty much with that victory, 50-28. And we talk about Ascension Catholic, who's third in the power rankings in Division 4 Select, and they got to the semis last year and lost to Ouachita Christian. So they're trying to get to that dome right now, and they're not being talked about like they were last year. So they're kind of quiet, but they're at that 3 seed. And for us, North Iberville, they're still number 2 in Division 4 non-select with a great shot to get to the dome. So that was two good teams, but Ascension Catholic was just a better team that night.
Great matchup.
So there you go. BK does give us the clarification, and it is a sled inbounds instead of getting out of bounds with no timeouts and the time running away on them.
Okay, there we go.
Yep. So Acadiana, big win on the road.
There you go.
Let's go.
Thank you, BK.
Good show.
Let's go to South Plaquemine getting a win over Country Day, 32-23. I believe this one right here, y'all got a good chance to see what happened. I don't say all. Me and JB thought Country Day had a shot to go on the road and win this game, but South Plaquemine starting to hit their stride to go try to defend their title.
Yeah, I thought Country Day had a shot to make it very close, but I thought South Plaquemine would pull away in the fourth quarter. It was close at first. And Country Day actually had the lead after halftime. Started the third quarter. They had the lead over South Plaquemine, but you got to commend Coach Feet and his kids. They kept fighting. They didn't get down on themselves. You know, they didn't fuss with one another. They kept their composure, kept playing the game of football, and got the win. You know, they were able to tie it up 14-14. And then Josh Bartholomew, big time running back for South Plaquemine, had a 92-yard touchdown run, gave them the lead for the first time, 20-14. And then Parker, the quarterback, after that, had a 29-yard touchdown pass to make it 26-14. And South Plaque didn't look back after that.
Oh yeah, man, I can tell you this, and I'm gonna go on record of saying it. I don't like to make proclamations, but Country Day is gonna be a hard out for anybody. Now we gotta realize They're in the same boat as a lot of these breaking in a new coach with some new players. Some of those basketball players didn't really play football. So
Right.
now I think they really understanding what their coaches are asking of them. So I'm looking at Country Day is going to be one of those sleepers to either knock down the dome to the door, or just be right there at the cusp of getting there.
Okay. Everyone loves a good upset, don't they?
Of course.
Well, let me talk to you about rivalry football. Throw the records out the window when these two teams meet. But I don't think anyone except everyone in that locker room and that community and that coaching staff saw this one coming. Lowerville goes on the road, knocks off Catholic in New Iberia 40-28. What a win for the Tigers. And they say the old fashioned saying, they say it's good to get healthy at the right time for the Lowerville Tigers. Catholic in New Iberia's defense to give up 40 at home. Oof, that one is a tough one to swallow.
Well, this one I didn't know about. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. But man, that yeah, if you like you said, just that coaching staff, the community, and those players believe they could get the job done. And a 40-28 victory. Blake
Like
Delcom had a big night, and he's a special player for Laurelville. He had a big night. Also, a couple defensive stands for Laurelville and some special teams magic helped him get this win. My God, Blake Delcom, he returned the opening kickoff for a touchdown. Returned the opening kickoff for a
set
touchdown.
the tone in the rivalry game out the gate, huh?
Yeah, without a doubt. Jordan, speaking of injuries, Blake Delcom was out for a couple of weeks with a hamstring injury. So now he's healthy. He's back.
You know, Blake Delcom won Player of the Game honors in that round one of the playoffs last year for Under the Lights.
Yes, sir.
So we already know how special he is, but they were missing him.
Definitely. So you speak of getting healthy at the right time, and you one of your best players you have, Blake Delcom, comes back, and man, it was like just what can I say, Nick? It was a motivational lift that he came back to play this game, and there you have it, man. Laurelville with the win over the defending state champs, Catholic New Iberia.
We go back real quick, Nick, before you go. This same Laurelville team went on the road and knocked off Ascension Catholic earlier this year. So it's a Tiger team that's capable of pulling off these type of victories.
Yeah, Laurelville Tigers, man. You know, you can really put them in perspective. They know how to win. They know how to win a big game. And like y'all said earlier, when you have a rivalry game, it's you and the coaching staff. Everybody else don't believe. Everybody don't go through the summers. Everybody don't go through the weightlifting. And when it comes down to a game that you gotta have, and it was one of them they wanted that bad. Hey, look, I didn't think Catholic New Iberia would have got shocked like that. But hey, kudos to the coaching staff and the Laurelville Tigers, man. They put it together to beat a really quality Catholic New Iberia team.
Laurelville with the win. It shoots them up in the rankings all the way to 8.
Yep.
Oof.
Big time.
Just looked at it like, wow.
Big win. All right. Teams that were left for dead.
Okay.
That we said, all right, that's it. Put a fork in them. They're done. Just when you count them out, here they come. And when I say here they come, here comes the state champs. You go on the road and you put up 50 against Opelousas Catholic, a 5-win Opelousas Catholic Ball Club. Vermilion Catholic, who saw this one coming, knocks off Opelousas Catholic 50-15, guys.
Well, not me. Didn't see you coming.
Just when you count them out, huh?
Yeah, just when you count them out. And they got to remind people of, you know, who we are. Y'all must have forgot who we are. We are Vermilion Catholic. You know,
that's that same Opelousas Catholic team that gave St. Ed's their only loss this year.
Sure is. Pretty much you could say
and play and played a 14-7 game. That was tough.
Yep. But you could pretty much say, they took out their frustration on Opelousas Catholic. I mean, 50-15 victory over them. That's a big time statement when you've been struggling the whole year, and like Jordan said, most people probably thought they would win this game, but not by the margin that they won. And the kids showed up. They
Hey, none
played.
of us picked them to win the game.
Oh wow, man! They showed up, played good assignment football, and pretty much showed what they're capable of. And maybe this is the game where things start rolling in the right direction for them moving forward, Nick.
Nick, that 18 seed right now, Vermilion Catholic in that Division 4 select bracket. Who wants to see them round one?
Shit. Well, I'll tell you the truth. They got Guyton, Westminster, Lafayette, Westminster Christian or Lafayette, and I think they can get it done, guys.
They should win out. They
Yeah,
should win out, and they might sneak into a home playoff game in that 16-15 slot.
it can happen. It can happen. I can
I
see it.
had the old
That's
trend.
that.
The old trend. When you think they left for dead, here they come.
Uh-huh.
And that's gonna be a division, fellas, that we need to keep our eyes on closely, because that state championship game is gonna be a Tyson Douglas type of game.
Yes, indeed.
That's gonna be my most favorite bracket to follow in the postseason because of every game's gonna mean something in that
Yeah.
playoff bracket.
Definitely.
All right, guys, moving along. Quick thoughts on this one. It was district championship game. Cecilia all over Opelousas 53-7. This one right here, over from the start.
Yeah, Cecilia jumped on him quick. Just give Coach Harry Coleman some time. Be patient with him. He's going to get that Opelousas football program back where it needs to be. Just give him some time. But Cecilia right now, just they've been struggling, but this is a big time rivalry game that we know of, and they were just a better team right now, better talent right now than Opelousas. But like I said, give Coach Harry Coleman some time. He's going to be fine. He's going to get that program up back and running. But Cecilia needed that win definitely for his power rankings to try to still almost host the I want to say host a first round playoff game. I think they got a shot. They 16 right now, so they're number 16. There it is. Finish in the top 16. You host a first round playoff game. They looking to stay in the top 16. So that's their goal right now, to finish in that top 16.
Correct.
Yeah, my thought, we talked about Cecilia early on in the year. My thought about it like this is they're putting it together, especially from what they dealt with last year, losing a bunch of people after the state championship game, and nothing surprised me. Nothing surprised me anymore when it comes down to watching how hard some of these young kids play and practice, man. And Cecilia, we knew they was going to be around. They're going to be a tough out for somebody, but they're just like building up towards the future again. Because rarely since the split then came, we saw a back-to-back champion making it back-to-back to the Dome. It was Calic New Iberia, if I can remember. It was one of those that did it.
Ruston?
He's talking about to win it 2 years in a row.
Oh, win it 2 years in a row.
Yeah. To win it 2 years in a row, it's tough.
I thought
it's tough to even get there.
Probably just
STM did it. STM did it. STM.
Oh, yeah, we had back-to-back years. STM, LCA.
Yep.
For sure.
Yep.
Let's go Notre Dame and Jennings. Notre Dame forces multiple turnovers to knock off the Jennings Bulldogs 28-12. Jennings was driving, and some fumbles were poked out in back-to-back drives as they were going in, and then an interception later in that game. Pios get it done, but 28-12 was the final score.
Yeah, you said it. I actually looked at this game. The turnovers from Jennings is what pretty much hurt them from the start, and Notre Dame capitalizing off of those turnovers. I think Notre Dame had got up to 21-0 at one time over Jennings. So those turnovers, that hurt, and Notre Dame being able to capitalize off of those turnovers put Jennings in a hole that they did not want to be in.
Yeah, I watched a little bit of that game on the Louisiana High School network, man, and I tell you what, the Pios are playing some good football. The last 2 weeks is going to be real important for them. And, even in Coach Cook in a post-game interview was so humble. He credited his team on how hard they work and how they've been playing, man. That's going to be a team that we're going to have to really circle that can really make some noise in that playoff. I'm telling you.
Yeah, as long as they stay away from the 4 seed, they need to stay on that 2 to 3 side of the bracket.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely.
Moving along, we have Liberty was the talk of the town a week ago. This week they had another crack. This time it was the state champions coming into their house. Different storylines this week that we walk away with. This time it's the state champs knocking off Liberty 49-14. So Liberty could not do it back-to-back weeks.
No, couldn't do it back-to-back weeks. I think Liberty woke up a lot of teams, especially in their district, with that win against Zachary. And I think Coach Semino made sure that his team did not overlook this Liberty team. Just letting them know how dangerous they are, especially Coach Zachary, his O-line. Got a big O-line, and he loves to run the ball. So Coach Semino had his team ready, and they were prepared, and they did a fabulous job stopping the run for Liberty and getting the win. But Liberty, they're going to be fine. And right now, Jordan, they holding on to that last spot in Division I Select. So we'll see what happens if they can hold on to that spot. Or they're 25th, one of the two.
I think they're 23.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're right at 23 when I saw it earlier. But you look at a type of football game this was. This was a roll-up-your-sleeve type football game.
What'd you say, Jordan?
25.
Yeah, I see 25 too. Go ahead, Nick.
Okay. Yeah, this is one of the roll-up-your-sleeve type games, and that's what they're coming to do. Cali Cabana is coming to do, man, and you got to credit the run game of Liberty, man. That's their bread and butter, and that's what they're gonna do well. But Central is, they're putting their ducks in a row and getting their ammunition together to move forward to play a tough Division I non-select bracket themselves.
Yep.
So this identity-making game for them.
Trying to go to defend the title.
Yep.
Won't be easy, but a step in the right direction. 2 matchups that happen. Y'all more familiar with it than I am. Actually, 3. I'm going to reel off 3 in a row here for you.
All right.
Ready? St. Martin's over West St. John, 23-20. Patrick Taylor over Thomas Jefferson, 28-21. And Young Audience over Haynes, 28-24.
Nick, I'll pass the River Paris game to you.
Yeah, man, something told me to get to that game, and I got to that game. And what I saw was quite disturbing when I watched that game. Coach Dyser, he was real familiar with West St. John. West St. John, they imploded. They had the opportunity to win the game. They didn't move the chains well. And when you play in playoff type of football, every game now is playoff type of football. Coach Dyser saw something that in the tape last week when West St. John lost that against Riverside, they could not defend the middle of the football field. Anybody gonna play football, playoff football, you're gonna have to stop the run. You're gonna have to stop the run, and you have to run the football. West St. John got some really good running backs, and it came as a shocker to me. I was speechless.
I'll get to the next 2. Thomas Jefferson and Patrick Taylor. That's a rivalry. That's a rivalry. 2 West Bank schools in Jefferson Parish, one in Gretna, one in Westwego/Avondale. So it's a rivalry when these 2 teams play each other. And Thomas Jefferson hopped out on them early, like 14-7. But Patrick Taylor faced that adversity and came back and got that victory, 28-21. And Patrick Taylor right now looking to host a first-round playoff game in Division II Select. So it's looking pretty good for them to host that game. But I want to talk about Haynes and young audience. And I talked to Coach PJ Sprunk, the head coach for Haynes Academy, man, and he's one of the best guys, man, in this world, man. A guy that's really a person that cares about his players so much, man, individually, man. And he's a great guy. I love that guy so much. But just talking to him, man, and he said it's gonna be a battle, JB. He said young audience is gonna be one of those teams coming up that's just gonna give everybody hell. But we know what we're in for, and we're gonna fight hard and try to come out with that victory. And that they almost did, giving young audience they're pretty much another tough game. Young Audience been in a couple tough games with Livingston was one of them, and West St. John was the other one. Here's another one with Haynes, and it went down to the final end with Young Audience getting a 28-24 victory over Haynes. So that was a tough fought ball game between two good clubs right there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you right, man. Good, big shout out to Coach PJ, man. Look, everybody, when you coach and you really want a job, but to have a real off season with the team, that's going to be critically important. And him learning his team like he did, he had a really rough schedule, man. And not giving him a mulligan. They're playing some good football, but for him to inherit what he inherited, hey man, sky's the limit for them guys in the future. And just like JB said, he's going to build his players up. And hopefully he can get a couple games, these last 2 wins. And we'll see what the people say who control the bracket.
Guys, how good is District 5 5A this year? Week in, week out, those games right there is bring your lunch back, your hard hat type of matchups. First off, we're going to go to one that was really, really good. And then the second one, we're going to go to one where this team right here going into the playoffs, you better be careful with. I'm going to start off with the game that was really, really good. And it was a shootout. Santa Monica beats Live Oak 55-52. Every week, this district has these type of matchups, these type of ball games, these type of scores. 5-5A is crazy. It's drunk this year.
Man, look, I was saying the same the other night. I was like, God, they are giving us some of the best games week in and week out. And here's Live Oak and St. Amant going at it to the wire. I mean, man, I wish I could clone myself and go to all 8 district games this year, because we talk about the Catholic League, we talk about the Monroe district with West Monroe and all those other teams, but this district right here, man, you can put them up there with those other 2 districts, man. It's been some great football play between the two. But back to this game, St. Amant and Live Oak. I mean, Live Oak's gonna come to play every week. Let's just keep it real. They're coming to play every week. Then you're going to get their best shot. If they're struggling or not, you're going to get their best shot. But St. Amant's a good team, good quarterback, good coach, man, and able to come up with that victory at the end.
Yeah, St. Amant, man, it's one of those teams in that Ascension area, we talking about helter-skelter type team. You know, when you look at them, you got the East Ascension, you got the Dutchtown game, and then you come and turn around and you're going to have to play a Live Oak. I didn't think that the 50 points was going to be a game that either team would be able to give up, but to get a victory like that after a 50-point game, I think they did what they had to do to win. Santa Monica, as the season been going, they've been playing some good defense, but they've been scoring a lot of points also.
So you get the really good one in that district from last week. Well, here's one where I'm starting to think this team is going to be a deep contender in this year's playoffs.
I know you talking about.
How about 42 seniors in that Denham Springs Ball Club knocking off a Prairieville team that just went and knocked off 3 straight district opponents coming into this ball game. Denham Springs 51-13. Denham Springs is one of those teams I'm high on to make a deep, deep push in the playoffs.
You ain't the only one, buddy. You ain't the only one. I think it was just 3 years ago we talked about Denham Springs. They got to the quarterfinals, and then the next year they didn't make the playoffs. But you said it, a heavy senior-led group, over 40 seniors, and that's the main key about this team from Denham Springs, and they're playing some great ball. We had Coach Brett Beard on the Hash It Out show. We had him on Tuesday night, and he said that I asked him like, what challenges is it that y'all got to overcome? He said finishing games. He said the loss to Central and the loss to East Ascension. We had the lead in both of them, and we lost. He said we learn how to finish games. He said the sky is, whatever the phrase is, I can't think of it.
Sky's the limit?
The sky's the limit. Yes, he said the sky's the limit for us. So I'm not surprised by this team. They looking real good. I saw the highlights against Prairieville, and Prairieville's a good team. They're a good team. And we can pretty much say they're a year ahead of schedule already. But Denham Springs, though, that's, if you looking at the brackets, especially when they come out, that's another team you looking to see where they're located. Are they on our side or the other side?
Yep, right now currently ranked 8.
Okay.
So Denham Springs making their way up, and rightfully so. Go ahead, Nick.
Yellow Jackets battle tested, man. They play for games like this, and early on in the season, that was one of those teams we was questioning. Are they good? Are they really good? And they constantly been proving they mark every week. And they got 2 games left. One against Dutchtown, if I'm not mistaken.
So I know they got rival Walker this week. So that's going to be a phenomenal ball game there. And then week 10, they got Santa Mo. So
it is.
Yeah.
At Walker, home against Santa Mo.
And we're going to really see what they're made of when they play those 2 games. And I tell you, Yellow Jacket fever, man, the people going to catch it. And they're going to be a definitely tough out. I know y'all go back there. We Honda had to go back there a couple years ago, and it's an eerie place to play a playoff football game.
Yeah, you look at the Yellow Jackets. I think this district comes down to week 10 to decide who's crowned the district champion, because you slip up one week, you still got an opportunity, but margin for error right now is very slim.
Yeah, agreed.
Winding down here, I got 3 more for you. Sorry I'm keeping you late, but I got to talk about it.
Let's do it.
First off, I want to give some love out to this parish here. They play for a trophy. And this year, both of these teams had different style, similar situations occurred, but just at different times in the season, okay?
Okay.
But so about a couple weeks to start the season, Kaplan Pirates lost their head football coach. So Coach John had to come in, and what a job he has done to get that team to 5 wins here to this point of the season. Abbeville just 3 short weeks ago lost their head football coach. So it's 2 schools, identical situations at different points in the season. Well, now you get a rivalry game in week 8. It was the Battle of the Russo Trophy, and Abbeville wins this game 12-7. What a win for the Wildcats. They have looked very improved these last couple of weeks. Remember, 3-point loss to Franklinton last week, 12-7 rivalry win here in this one, and then they wrote off 2 wins prior to that. So an Abbeville team that broke their streak, got an interim coach, almost knocked off Franklinton, and now they get to bring the Russo Trophy back home.
Russo Trophy back home to Abbeville. And a lot of people were saying this is one of the biggest surprises in the state, Abbeville defeating Kaplan. And if you read some of Mike Koppich's stories about Abbeville, he talks about how they are a good team. And them winning this game, it didn't surprise me. But it being a defensive battle is what surprised me, to be honest with you. A 12-7 low-scoring game, defensive battle. So you got to credit the coaching staff and the defensive coordinator for coming up with a scheme to hold Kaplan to only 7 points. So definitely wasn't surprising to me, but winning in a defensive battle with these 2 teams was surprising.
Yeah, that same Pirate team that went into Southern Lab a week prior and beat them. So it's a good win for sure.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Anytime you replace coaches, man, it's hard for your kids to get their message, and it's who adapt to the coach's message first, man. And if you coming in as a defensive coordinator and you telling your team this is how we're going to win games, you got to do it. You got to buy in early. We're talking about 15, 16-year-old kids, and most coaches coming in being tough leaders, they're going to get their message across. You can say everything that happened in the past is a past. Everything starts now with me. And if you can adapt to your coaching style, and we see it, the results, 12-7. Then they playing a tough Southern Lab team. Man, look, I'm telling you, just buy in. Let them continue to buy in. We'll see if they make that number right at what they're located at right now. They was right inside the 20s.
So you're looking for Abbeville or Kaplan?
Abbeville.
Abbeville is 19 right now.
Yeah. So they're going to be a tough out.
And you got to remember, they started 0-4. So they caught fire at the right time.
Yes. So shout out, Russo's back in Abbeville. Speaking of defense, I think that's how we're going to end the show. Defensive games in this one. Oak Grove beats Faraday 13-6, and Southern Lab beats Kentwood 12-8. Speaking of defense.
Yeah. Oh, man. Well, I'll start with Oak Grove and Faraday. Could it be if Faraday's field was better that we could be saying maybe Faraday got the victory over Oak Grove? I'm just saying. I don't know. But
they say some people just say spot the football, we'll play in a parking lot. So
yeah, you're right.
That's how some mentalities are. So
when I was watching the Hail Mary play, and I'm looking at the team in white, and I said, "Oh, Faraday won." I said, "Faraday won," and then I say, I'm reading. I say, "Oak Grove won," and then I was like, "Oh, they couldn't play on the field." Hey, but no, Faraday's a good team this year, everybody. That's a good team. Faraday is a good team. Just unfortunate now, a couple games that were supposed to be at their home, they couldn't play at home because the LHSAA said the field was unplayable.
Mhm.
So that's what they said. So they were able to wear their home colors at Oak Grove. But that's a good team. Just came up short against a good Oak Grove team, and we know about Oak Grove. So credit both teams for a hard-fought, well-played game, but Oak Grove just came out on top.
Yeah, we're hoping that field gets ready for the playoffs because they're going to be at home early in the playoffs.
Exactly. And for Southern Lab and Kentwood, we get a great battle every year. If it's high scoring or if it's low scoring.
Low scoring.
Yeah. They are going to battle it out every year. And this year, Southern Lab gets the win. I think you said it was 13-12, Jordan?
The score was 12-8.
12-8. Okay. There you have it.
My only two questions is for both of these guys is like, is Oak Grove back? And can Southern Lab somehow, some way get through all of this madness in Division 4?
Well, Oak Grove coming off of a loss to Mangum a week ago. So it's good for them to get in the win column here.
Mm-hmm.
So far from being back after what Mangum did a week ago to them. But Southern Lab, Kentwood, another throw the records out type of deal.
Exactly.
Always a classic when these two teams play each other. Usually we see an offensive classic. This time they treated us with a defensive classic.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Top 3 matchups in your area next week, guys. Go.
Top 3 matchups. All right, give me a second. I gotta go.
Y'all go look, and I'm gonna give my 3 out real quick.
All right, cool, no problem.
Go and give me 3. I got mine.
You want me to go or you going, Nick?
Yes, sir. You can go.
Okay. All right. Top 3 matchups in my area next week. I'm going to start off with Southside at Carencro.
Ooh, nice.
Then I'm going to shift over a couple miles down the road. I'm going to go St. Thomas More at Turlings. Then I'm going to go a few more minutes up the road, and I'm going Evangel at Lafayette Christian Academy.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yes.
That's 3 good ones in the Acadian area this coming week, huh?
Yeah, it is.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, Nick.
JB.
Go ahead.
All right, week 9, man. Let's be excited about week 9. We're going to start with this one. Terrebonne Tigers, the head that I'm wearing, getting off the mat from 2 tough games, keeping a power ranking score. Is Thibodaux Tigers for real? Are the Thibodaux Tigers for real? That's going to be a big matchup this week.
They better get there early, huh, Nick?
They got to get there early. Secondly, Dutchtown East Ascension. Dutchtown East Ascension. There's another rivalry where you can throw away the records. And look, I'm telling you, East Ascension coming off a loss, Dutchtown, you got to get ready. You better be ready.
We'll be talking about District 5A again next week.
Yep. So you're gonna block the roads off. You're gonna have the bands marching. You're gonna have the jambalaya going. You're gonna have the cracklers popping. It's gonna be a big weekend out there in Ascension Parish. And lastly, the rivalry, that East and West Bank rivalry with Destrehan riding across the river to play Hornbill back at Boutique.
That big one.
Yeah, see that's why I had to go back and look, because I knew Nick had Hornville and Destrehan, so I couldn't take that from him. So that's why I had to go back and
You could have took it.
go back into the third option. I plan on being at Hornville, Destrehan, getting there around 4:30. Nick know how that is.
Too late. Too late.
We'll be there at 1:00.
You better get there at 10:30 a.m.
Oh nah, I got 4 o'clock.
We'll be there at 1:00.
All right, I'll meet you there. Nah, 4 o'clock, 4:30. After that, you're in trouble. Here's my 3. Here's my 3. Number 1, or not number 1, number 3 coming on up. McDonough 35 versus Frederick Douglass. And here's why. Number 1, McDonough 35, if they win, they are the district champions of District 10-4A. If they lose to Douglass, then they're going to need help the following week when Douglass plays Carver for them to have a share. So district championship implications right here. Douglass can play for it outright the following week, or McDonough 35 wins it outright. Number 2, Archbishop Shaw going to Belle Chase. St. Charles Catholic controls their destiny. And if Archbishop Shaw defeats Belle Chase, then next week, you're going to have a showdown, week 10, St. Charles Catholic at Archbishop Shaw for the district championship once again. If Shaw loses and Belle Chase wins, then Shaw needs to beat St. Charles Catholic for all 3 to have a share. And then lastly, 2 undefeateds going at it. Friday night, Halloween. Edna Carr, John Curtis, number 1 and number 2 in the Division I Select Power Rankings. That's the number 1 game in the city of New Orleans right there. Can John Curtis do the unthinkable and end a 22-game winning streak for Edna Carr? Can they do it? We'll find out come Friday night.
Most intriguing game in the entire state of Louisiana this coming week. Who is it?
To me, well, I know what Nick gonna say, but so I'm gonna go this way. I'm gonna go Curtis and St. Aug, not Curtis and Edna Carr. Curtis and Edna Carr, to me, is the most intriguing game, due to the fact that here we are. We have JT Curtis with all those championships he's won. Bryce Brown has won 5 championships. Edna Carr's ranked in the nation. JT Curtis, John Curtis, they got a national championship. Oh, here they are, both number 1 and number 2. Yeah, it's being talked about a lot, Jordan, already.
My most intriguing game would be one to watch, and we was talking about Country Day earlier. It's going to be Country Day at Newman.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be a game that's going to really say that Country Day has arrived or not. So that's a game that I put a question mark on myself that we got to take a closer look at come Friday night.
Thursday night, Pop Houston comes into town to take on LCA. I think this is a walk-off 2-point conversion.
Ooh, walk-off 2-point conversion. Yes, indeed.
I don't know which way, though.
You got to pick it on Wednesday, though.
It might not make the list. That I tell you what, that's going to be on the bottom of the list.
Like I did. more or less, so you don't get yourself caught in a pickle.
Man, that's a phenomenal matchup. I can't wait to see Pop Houston and that LCA secondary. It's going to be a great battle all night.
Yeah, definitely. That's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be a
Final
good one.
words, guys. Let's put a bow on week 8.
Let's put a bow on it, man. Everybody, thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for your support of not only this show, but the Hash It Out show, Under the Lights, the Nick Network Prep Report. Also, your support of high school football here in the state of Louisiana. We truly appreciate it. And this week, if you're not able to attend any of the games, they got a lot of games being streamed, not just mine and not just Jordan's. There's other people that are streaming games, so it might be a game that can catch your interest. So we just love the support for these high school athletes that they can get if you can be there or not, or watch the stream. We just continue to watch, continue to support. That's all we ask for, because we don't do this for us three. We do this for these kids to get some publicity.
Have you announced your game?
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
I have. So as of right now, we're working on a second game. We have one, and Thursday night, the Hash It Out show game of the week, Thursday night game of the week, it is Archbishop Shaw versus Bell Chase.
Okay.
Big game. Big game. Man, I appreciate everybody who watched the show, watch all of our shows. Week 9 is going to be a phenomenal week. We're getting prepared for the playoffs, man, and we got to keep this in consideration throughout the next 2 weeks, man. These games going to really start tipping the needle on what we're going to see in the future. So let's be excited about these games. Watch these shows that we've been publicizing, the Under the Lights, the Hash It Out show, the Nick Network, and you're going to see a lot of up close and personal stuff about these teams when you watch these types of shows.
Ladies and gentlemen, thanks everyone for tuning in this evening. Tuesday, Wednesday, you can catch the Hash It Out show live at 7 p.m. Thursday, get your brunch with the Nick Prep Report at 11 a.m. And Wednesday night, you can catch Under the Lights 8:30 till 11 as we all three get you ready for week 9, a big week 9 to say the least. Thursday night, Under the Lights will have Sacred Heart Trojans at the Catholic of Point Capee Hornets. And then Friday night, Under the Lights will have Rivalry Football Welsh at Lake Arthur. So that is the games we have this week. So, ladies and gentlemen, keep watching those PowerPoints, keep supporting those kids. Get you ready for the race to the playoffs. Looking forward to a great week 9. You guys have a great rest of your week. God bless each and every one of you. God bless high school football. And we will see you at all 3 of our shows this coming week. Good night, ladies and gentlemen.
Good night.